the top 7 Propstream lists to use for wholesaling real estate. Guys, it's Rick Ginn. In this video, I'm going to break down the top 7 lists you should be using in wholesaling real estate. I don't care if you just started or you've been doing this a long time. I've been doing this 20 years, and these are the lists I use right now in today's market. Before we get into it, do me a favor, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button to continue to receive the best up-to-date information on wholesaling today. So you guys know I'm a big fan of Propstream, but honestly, any type of service that will make your life easier in wholesaling, I love using Propstream. If you guys want to get started, go to listrei.com. You get a 7-day free trial period, and you can find these exact lists in there. So let's jump into it without further ado. I'm going to start and work my way backwards so we can build it up. So the really cool thing about Propstream is most of these lists are already pre-populated in the filter section for you. So if you just click filter, there'll be a drop-down section. You can find them all there. And if you want to like tinker with them, you can, but I'll give you the recommendation settings on each one we do. So remember, your marketing is only as good as your list. You need to become a list master ninja. I have spent tens of thousands of hours cultivating a list, and the best way to do it is take suggestions just like from someone like me, and then you cater to how you get a response. So whenever you get a deal, go back and research where you got the deal from, and that will help solidify if you're in the right target area. So starting in at number 7, divorce. And honestly, I kind of hate these lists, but they do work. So you can easily, through Propstream, pull up a list of divorce. Now, the challenge with divorce is whoever you reach out to, however you do it, if you cold call them, mail them, door knock them, whatever you do, is typically, you're talking about 2 people splitting up their lives. So if you guys ever been involved with divorce, it just sucks. So the problem is the person you connect with usually create an enemy with the other person. You have to find some sort of common ground, and you have to get both parties to consent. The good news is most divorce is a reason for liquidating properties, especially if it comes to second home and rental properties. And for that reason alone, I do like divorce lists. You got to tread water lightly. If you get heavy rapport with one of the spouses and you disregard the other one, they will use it against you and leverage against you. So my tip to you whenever you deal with divorce, make sure you're working with both spouses, because in the past, I've seen people, even myself, where I built this incredible rapport with one side and the other one just like was really upset with me because look at it. You're pairing up with the person they're splitting up with. So you got to remain somewhat of a neutral party, but for that reason, divorce lists work really well because people need to solve real estate problems. So going in at number 6 is the MLS. And what does MLS have to do with listrei.com, aka Propstream? It's simple. I love Propstream because you're able to filter on-market properties, off-market properties, and honestly, it's the only service I've seen that actually does it. In the old days, we couldn't filter that stuff, and honestly, if you're mailing to on-market properties for wholesaling deals, you're usually just wasting your money. And if you're calling to them, you're wasting time and you're wasting all that skip trace money. So Propstream has a really cool list where you can pull up MLS failed listings. And guys, you are in a perfect market for this. Failed listings mean it went on the market. It's usually between 3 and 6 months, sometimes as long as a year. And those properties never sold. Why didn't they sell? That's your job to figure out. It's usually one of 2 reasons. Usually it's overpriced, or number 2, the property is in need of major repairs and it doesn't qualify for typical financing. And for that reason, they need a wholesaler to come in and save the day. Guys, it happens all the time. Realtors are not familiar with properties that need fix up and need cash buyers. And that's where you can come in and connect with the realtor. So here's a tip for you on that one. Do not try to cut the realtor out there. Work with them. Make sure they get paid their commission. Honestly, if you don't, you will never, ever get that deal. If it's a failed listing, even then, I still reach out to the realtor and try to connect with them if I can't connect with the homeowner, because the realtor already knows what's inside the seller's head and they will know what the motivation is. So remember, there has to be some sort of motivation. If you can bring that realtor in, it's much, much easier to find because they already have established a rapport with them. So moving on to number 5, liens, guys. And this is kind of a broad category. I'm going to break it down for you. You can go in your filter search and click on the lien sections, and you're going to see multiple choices. Actually, I believe there's 3 or 4, but the ones I specifically always love, oh my gosh, it's a mouthful. The tax liens are great, but remember, you can get tax lien data straight from your county. Just go to your local county and they provide a list. It is a public information on people behind on their taxes, but eventually that winds up being a lien on the property. One of my favorite ways to buy properties, especially in a softer market, is what I call HOA liens. And the beauty of Propstream is you can go in there and you can search specifically for HOA liens. Remember, HOAs actually have more power than the first mortgage holder, usually the bank. So knowing that if someone's massively behind on their HOA fees, it's probably a strong indication that there's motivation that they need to sell the property. So that's where you come in. I love HOA liens because most people aren't even looking for them. So, and they wind up being perfect for wholesaling deals. There is a more advanced technique where you can buy the lien and foreclose on the property, but in most instances, I like to just go at them after a straight wholesaling deal. Those are my favorite. And then you got private liens. These are going to be mechanical liens, utility liens. A lot of these are, some of them are small private mortgages. Sometimes code violations wind up in this section. So this is a great section. If you haven't used liens before, go in your Propstream account, pull up the tab there for filter for liens, and explore all the different liens. Guys, a lot of these are overlooked, and I would definitely take advantage of them. Moving on to number 4 is simply pre-foreclosures. And once again, any foreclosure information or pre-foreclosure information you can get from your county courthouse. And honestly, that is the best data, but it's time consuming to get the data and it takes some work to get it. Now, what I like to do is go into my Propstream account and I pull it out. I do every other month because they change just a little bit. And remember, this information is going to be a little bit more dated than what you get from the county. All foreclosures, pre or ongoing foreclosures, are derived from your county courthouse. So what Propstream does is they scrape the information. It's not always perfect. And guys, these are great candidates, especially for cold calling, reverse driving for dollars, and flat out just door knocking. So it's one of the ways I got started. And you can also track it to see what's going on in your market as these climb up. You know the market's shifting. You need to take action. Guys, don't overlook this because it's all these lists are included in your account. So remember, you can pull up to 10,000 leads per month, and it's part of your monthly package. Guys, pre-foreclosures, man, like honestly, if they make it easy, I want to take it. This is why we use Propstream. A lot of you have jobs or you're doing this by yourself, and you look at Propstream as your additional employee. Make sure you use it, okay? Moving on to number 3, one I've used for my 20 plus years of investing in wholesaling is high equity. And high equity is really simple. If you guys go to Free Wholesaling, I share with you the exact numbers to use. Let me just rattle it off real quick for you in case you haven't been there. If you go to freewholesaling.com, it's all in there. But I like anybody that's owned a property at least 3 years plus. I used to do 10, okay? And I've scaled it down, but a minimum 3 years, they have to own the property. I look for an equity position of 40% or more. And equity is just basically the amount of, how do I say this correctly? Equity is nothing. So if somebody had a $100,000 house and they owed a $60,000 mortgage, they would have 40% equity. The more equity they have, the more, in my opinion, the more susceptible they are to selling to a wholesaling deal because they have room to negotiate. And typically these properties have issues with them. Remember, if somebody only has 10% equity and it costs 12 to 15% to sell the property, probably not a great candidate for wholesaling. It's going to be more of a creative financing situation. So go with equity, 40% or more. Let's see what else. And then stick to houses within your at or below the medium price range. If you guys go to Free Wholesaling, I go really deep into this topic. But the equity filters you can set. So here's a little tip on equity filters is if you're on a limited budget, say you want to spend like less than, say you want to do a mailing on like direct mail, or even you want to do a cold calling list, is you've got to know what your budget is. So if you only got $1,500 and the list is bigger than that, then what you can do is raise the standards on the equity filter. So maybe 40, you go to 45, makes the list smaller. Just doing stuff like that, you can lower the average median price. It'll make your list smaller. Remember, you've got to make sure the numbers fit in your budget, because if you're a one-person operation, you have got to be able to field all the calls and you've got to deal with all the leads. You don't want to outspend it. So high equity, I've done it forever, guys. Wholesaling and high equity will forever be a beautiful marriage. Pre-probates, number 2. Pre-probates. You're like, Rick, what's probates? You guys, first of all probates are derived from your county and you can get them in your regular government list. And that's how I always recommend you do it. But pre-probate is very valuable in Propstream because it's the only company I know that allows you to pull properties. Here's how they tag them. Anybody with a death certificate and a property within that county, bam, they go on the pre-probate list. Why is that valuable? Because more than half of properties don't even go through probate. Trust. A lot of joint tenancies, they get pulled out of probate. And there's so many properties that we miss. Honestly, when somebody passes away and they own a piece of property, regardless if it's a probate or not, it is an excellent lead for you to tag. Propstream is the only one I know that does this for you. I think it's super valuable. I think you should pull it at least once a quarter. It is like gold in our company. It works. I don't do it every month because a lot of duplicates in there, but by the third month, they always tend to turn over. Guys, pre-probates, like it sounds weird, but it works. And think about this. If you had to go search all the death certificate records, which you technically can't, you'd have to search the obituaries and cross-reference the properties they own, you're talking about hundreds, if not thousands of hours. It's well worth it to go after these. Coming in at number 1 is I like the vacant list. I just love it because I don't get a ton of deals off the vacant list, but whenever I get a deal off the vacant list, and yes, this is a filter inside of Propstream, when I get it, they are just home runs. They're easy. They go fast. Why? The property's empty. Somebody's making payments on it. They're paying insurance, taxes, utilities, lawn maintenance, the whole 9 yards. I love these. Once again, I only pull these once a quarter, and sometimes I cut them down to twice a year. But there's a lot of duplicates on the list. These lists derive from the United States Postal Service, which sends the information over to HUD, and then it's disseminated to nonprofits, aka Propstream, stuff like that. Don't ask me how they get it, but they get that information, and that's how you get it. So when your mailman sees a house and they're not picking up the mail, he puts a green slip in there, marks it vacant, and then it goes into a database. It's gold. Now, the really cool thing with this is you can cross-reference these vacants and make sure you get off-market properties so you're not chasing down full-priced retail listings on MLS. Guys, Propstream has made an incredible difference in my business, and for this reason, this is why I use it. It's like having another employee that doesn't talk back and just generates marketing activity. It is my favorite. So I'm going to give some honorable mentions on Propstream. Everyone's like, hey, do you use absentee owners? I do, but I don't care. I don't care if they live there or not. In the old days, we did absentee owners only. And in some virtual markets, I do it just to do a test sample size. And absentee owner is simply when the owner of the property doesn't live there. It usually winds up being a rental or a second home. And for that reasons, that's why I used to have the highest probability for a wholesale. I would tell you in your local market, it's not as important anymore. I find that actually owner-occupied properties by homeowners, I actually get better deals because they just need to sell the property right away, as opposed to a more advanced landlord that owns lots of properties. They just want to sell the house. So that's a distinct difference, because I knew somebody asking me about absentee owners, and I'm here to tell you, it works. I would only do it in like virtual markets. I wouldn't do it in your local market. So Guys, without further getting into it, please don't forget, do your government list. Your government list derived from your county. They're all free. We talk about probates, foreclosures, pre-foreclosures. Evictions, a really critical one. Now, you can't get that in Propstream, but hopefully that'll change soon. You can get divorces, tax delinquencies, water shutoffs, code violations. I would use all these lists. And the really cool thing through Propstream, through listrei.com, once you get through your trial version, it's a simple monthly fee. As I said, it's like having another employee. I couldn't live without it. And you get 10,000 leads you can pull from all 7 different sources I gave you inside of Propstream. Guys, go over to listrei.com. Take full advantage of this. I will tell you, I used so many sources before. It cost me thousands of dollars. It's a no-brainer with listrei.com. Go ahead and sign up for your Propstream account now if you want to take advantage of these 7 ways. Guys, let me know if I missed something in my Propstream list. I will be happy to add it. I'd love to get some feedback from you. I read them all. And guys, I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Do me a favor, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button to continue to receive the absolute best information on wholesaling today. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.